America, a new trend is catching on. People are buying groceries on EMIs. And no, this is not some finance trend. Many households are in distress. Inflation is squeezing their monthly budget, so people are buying food by taking out a loan. They're using instant credit apps, buy now, pay later schemes, also called as BNPL, buy now, pay later. You must have heard about this. It's the hottest trend in finance. You buy something on a loan. You get what you need on the same day, but you don't have to make the payment. You can split your bill in easy installments, pay the loan over a period of time. Now, buy now, pay later is not a new idea. People use it all the time to get their favorite gadgets, to buy appliances, or for a big ticket purchase like a car. But buying food on EMI is a sign of financial pain. It usually means you don't have enough money in your pocket today. You're going into debt just to put food on your plate. American households have been going through this pain for some time. Let's look at the numbers. How many Americans use buy now, pay later apps? About 50% according to a survey. Out of these, 1 in 5 use apps to get groceries. 27% of Americans use as a bridge just to get through the month so the next paycheck lands in their accounts. Now let's look at the breakup of these loans to understand how BNPL, buy now, pay later money was spent. In the first 2 months of 2023, 40% of BNPL loans were issued on groceries, 40%, 38% on home furnishings, 8% on apparel. So groceries had the highest share, 40%. And clearly there's a problem. How did Americans end up with no money? It began during the pandemic. Many households needed financial support, so they turned to these apps because they're very easy to use. Getting loan is as easy as installing an app and signing up. In 2019, buy now, pay later loans amounted to just $2 billion. In 2021, this number had shot up to $24 billion. That's a jump of more than 1,000%. So BNPL loans became popular during the pandemic. What happened next? Made them a necessity for American households. Inflation skyrocketed in the US. Last year in July, America reported its highest inflation in 4 decades. And this has a direct impact on prices of household goods. In December, grocery prices were up by almost 12%. Prices of eggs shot up by 138%. Butter sticks, 38.5%. All-purpose flour, 34.5%. Spaghetti and macaroni, 31.3%. That's the kind of price rise Americans had to deal with. Monthly expenses of many families doubled. They simply struggled to make ends meet. They had to resort to these instant loans, buy now, pay later schemes, and credit cards. Now inflation has begun to cool, but it's leaving many households in debt. Some are struggling to keep up with their payments. Again, I have some numbers. At the end of 2022, Americans had $986 billion worth of credit card debt. $986 billion. In the last 3 months of 2022, credit card debt had surged by $61 billion. It's the largest quarterly jump in history. So we have loans for basic needs and high levels of debt. And these are classic signs of financial distress. Just ask yourself this question. Would you buy a sandwich on a loan? If you had the money, perhaps you wouldn't. You would avoid falling into debt over a sandwich. But American households seem trapped in a debt cycle. They're taking loans to make ends meet. And this never ends well.
Why are you not investing in tax liens? No, seriously. Why are you not investing into...
Shalom, give all praise, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shem, Rakakadash. Honors to the elders and apostles, men, and truth on down, bar and truth and knowledge. The Wadi Yahweh Shem, Yahweh put in the spirit of the elders and apostles, men, and truth on down, bar and truth and knowledge. Know this truth and knowledge. And call holy Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shem, Rakakadash. Give all praise, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shem, Rakakadash. That was a video related to First Post Vantage video report talking about people have to turn to loans to buy groceries, man. because of high inflation squeezing their monthly budgets. And loans to buy food, so they get these apps where they can buy the food and pay it later, man. Reminds me back in the day of what was that? Pay installments for goods, or like you know, and you like they still probably do it, but back in the day they really did pretty much what do they call that? Retail stores used to do it back in the day. Layaway, where you pay a monthly fee until you get it all paid off. You know, then you get it. So that was popular back in the 20, 30 years ago. Like the stores like Kmart and different stores, But so layaway. So and you have these different entities. These payback loans. These payback loans, payday loans, where you can get a loan and when you get paid and you have to pay back whatever fee plus the interest. But this all is pretty much an accumulation of keeping you in debt, man. Layaway, here we go.
Layaway.
I was trying to think of the word. A system of paying a deposit to secure an items for later purchase, man. So you're paying a monthly fee for these things until you get it all paid off, man. What is a layaway payment? Allows a customer to put a deposit on an item like furniture or computers that the seller holds, typically in the store, and it still goes on, because when you go to these furniture places, you pay monthly fees with that, until you get it all paid off. So that system is still intact. But back in the day, it was really heavy, relating to like in the world, like for these holidays, especially like Christmas and different things. People put stuff on layaway and get it out in a certain period of time. Like when the holidays come up, they have it out. That was enough to, pay it off, so they can get the goods out by the, holiday period. So that was popular back then. That's what I mean. Now layaway. What is a layaway payment? Layaway allows a customer to put a deposit on an item like furniture or computer that the seller holds, typically in a store. The customer makes an installment payments on it over time, and it can then pick up the items once the balance is paid in full. So you're paying monthly fees until the balance is completely full, man. So you paying installments, monthly installments, man, until it gets paid off, man. Like I was saying, relating to certain items, furniture, computers, toys, whatever. Now you're seeing that kind of thing relating to buying food, so you know what's getting paid. I'll read some more. Is it a good idea to go on layaway? Usually you don't have to pay interest on the layaway payments, which is a big advantage over alternatives such as credit cards, which charges average of 14%, 15%, though frequently higher. All right, I want to get some scripture, so let's go to Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. These these policies, statutes, laws, and different things, man. They're unrighteous. And they write grievousness which they are prescribed. So these decrees, these policies, these laws, these statutes, they are, for the most part, grievous to whom they are prescribed to. Because the ones on the top percentage make these laws for the 99% where it affects, man. You know, for the most part, man. So they're grievous to them that is prescribed, man. Number 2. Turn aside the needy from judgment and take away the right from the poor of my people, which is the righteous, that widows may be, right? And that they may rob the fatherless. So that affects the poor, man. The poor, the righteous, the meek, man. Related to these decrees and laws, man. So they preying on, you know, the vulnerability, you know, and pretty much the weakness of the vulnerability, and the righteous and the poor, man. So they're taking advantage of, because they have no means of defense regarding resources and different things. So they become that prey, man, because they're an easier target. They're an easier scapegoat. Because they're in a lower state. Scripture talk about Proverbs 22, the rich rule over the poor, and the poor is a servant to the lender. So the poor is that servant which goes to slave, man, to the lender, man. 18 and 23 Proverbs. The poor uses entreaties, but the rich answer roughly, man. Those entreaties are the poor begging, beseeching, man, groveling to the ones in a position of power, man. And the rich answer roughly, disrespectfully, derogatorily, offensive, because they're in a position of power, man. I'm gonna get Sirach 10 and this relates to wise magistrates, relates to position of powers, whether of wise or unwise. Go to 10 and 1. Ecclesiastes 10 and 1. A wise judge will instruct. Instruct goes to educate, edify, even teach his people. And the government of the prudent man is well ordered. Prudent is the wise man, man. So it's going to be well ordered, well established, man. Number 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man ruleth of the cities is such are all they that dwell therein. So the ones underneath, the ones on top, underneath of them, you know, ones underneath of them, they're going to whatever who's on top as far as in the position of power, you know, they're gonna fall under that, man. The ones underneath them they're gonna fall in the order of the ones on the top. Shalom. Whether right, unwise or wise, man. You know what I mean? So they're gonna follow in that order, man. So they come in the manner of ones in the position of power underneath them. An unwise king destroyeth his people. So unwise king destroyeth his people, man. You know? But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. That's the wise. But an unwise king destroyed his people. And the ones underneath the unwise king, they're going to come in that order of that. One who's wise, they're going to come under the order of that wise king. You know, the manner of the people in that chain of command, in the matter of speak, are going to come in the ones who are in the position of top. You know, they're going to fall in that order, man. Whether if they're a wise magistrate or unwise magistrate. All right, go to number 4. And the power of the earth is in the hands of the Lord, and He controlleth. He put whosoever in a position of power, man. You know, he turneth the king whatsoever. He controlled the minds and the hearts of the king, which is the heart and the mind of the king. He controls it. Scripture talks about from the east and the west, south. The Lord is the judge. He setteth up and he setteth up one and he also taketh one down. Paraphrasing Psalm 75, 5 and 6. Man. Ultimately, the Lord is controlling who's in a position of power. Man, when you go to talking about this one first. Power of the earth is in the hands of the Lord. In due time he set one over one that is profitable. That's the sun, man. So it's going to be profitable for collectively all people, man. You know, but specifically for, you know, the nation of Israel, but all people after it's all said and done, man. And that's the next rulership. For Esau's the end of the world and Jacob's the end of Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning that followeth. You know what I mean? So, one uninterrupted time, age, of rulership to end, where another one is going to take its place, man. That relates to Eon, which is that age, man. Age of a rulership. Let me see if I can get that scripture. I think it's 21 of Proverbs. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. As the rivers water, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. As the rivers of the water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. So the Lord controls the heart and the mind of the king. He puts one down, he setteth one up. Psalm 75, 5 and 6. And also he's the scripture talks about he's the Lord's in the midst of the ones in the position of power. He even put the basis of man. I believe that's in Daniel 4:17. So, see if that's the right one. This manner is by the decree of the watchers, angels, and the man by the word of the holy ones, prophets, to intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So the Lord is in the midst of the ones in the position of power on earth, man, and giveth to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So the Lord will put the basis of men in the position of power, man. He'll set whoever he wants, man. He'll set good kings. He'll set evil kings. That goes to the wise and unwise magistration, man. So he'll set up who he wants, man, in the position. He'll set up the basis of men, and he has, man. Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. So if the righteous were in authority, people rejoice collectively over all things. But when the wicked bear rule, people mourn. So the wicked is in a position of power right now, man. That's why I think people are mourning. The earth is mourning. The waves, the vibration is not in a happy state, man, because they're in a position of power. That's Proverbs 29:2. Let me get that scripture 75 and Psalm 75. Let me see if I can get that one. Lift not your horn on the high, speak not with a stiff neck. For the promotions cometh from neither the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So that's Psalm 75, 5-7. That's scripture verse would be number 7, 75 of 7 verse. So the Lord setteth up, he putteth down, he set up a new one. It relates to who's in position of, in charge. Habakkuk 2:10. Shall not all these take up a parable against him? A taunting problem. Taunting is pretty much mocking, against him, and saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. That's the wicked. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So accumulation of things that's really not his, man. This place is a thick accumulation relating to debt, man. That's what you're seeing, people going in debt, cumulatively, incrementally going in debt, man, because it's a debt trap. Everything's a debt trap to keep you in, like to say, with the unrighteous decrees, policies. Through these policies, these unrighteous policies, unrighteous decrees and laws, is to keep you in debt, man. A cash grab, which is keep unrighteous tributaries, goes to unrighteous tributaries. That's part of that, and these cash grabs, man. But we in the kingdom, man. We in the kingdom that's that's unrighteous rulership, man. So you have unrighteous tributaries where you have to pay tributary to, cash grabs and different things. You know what I mean? So that's part of that. So that thick clay is that debt that's accumulating, man. Not only just from the U.S. accumulating debt by its own merit. For example, sending money over to overseas, cumulative financial accumulation of financial over these other countries and putting itself in more in debt, man. And pretty much making its own establishment a destitute, man. Sending beings for these other countries that really don't need it like that. But here, you're neglecting your own back home. I'm just saying, that's thick, So that's part of the, that's their building up their own debt, man. In a matter of speaking, man. In China, they're relating to that. They in debt. They have debt issues, man. Even supersedes even America's, man. And that goes to because of a thing that's been going on for the past couple of years. That's part of that, which has affected their, their global markets and different things. They're private and public entities. They can't even barely pay the interest off in their responsibilities on top, man, which means their overhead, man. So, so all these are accumulation of that thick clay, man. It's just the system, man. The system's part of that thick clay, man. It was already built to be that way, man. All right, let me see what other scriptures I can get. Daniel. Daniel 7:25, and he speaketh with great words against the Most High, so he's boastful. And he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, that's the prophets, and think to change times and laws, because he's in a position of power. Job 9:24, the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked. He covered the face of judges, if it's not he, then who is, man? So he's in the position of power, man. So part of that position of power, he has the decree, the permission to do different things relating to the laws, the statutes, and change policies, change even ordinances and decrees, man, laws and policies, man. So that's given to him because he's in a position of power, man. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. He shall wear out the saints in the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand. Part of that hand is his power, man. You know what I mean? Hands is that tool of power, man. I'll give it into his hands into a time and times and divided a time, so a time and season, man. And he's not going to go beyond the bounds which he shall pass. Job 14:5, man. So he's going to go for a time and season relating to being in a position of power, man. And that's what's so because the power has been given to him, man. This is something short. I hope this helps relating to that. Let me see. Babylon 14:8. Revelations 14:8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen. Is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Philosophy, ideologies, policies, laws, decrees, the Western philosophies, man. He made the West drink of that. Part of that, using that, is through the sword, man. The blessings that sword, using the sanctions, are part of that tool, instrument of cruelty, and to make these nations, take on the ways, man, because the power has been given to them, man. You know what I mean? They the hammer of the earth. The hammer is a what? An instrument, tool of cruelty, man. Part of that hammer is the what? Military might, man. So they made these nations, and Scripture talks about now the nations become mad, man. They realizing it's not what it's supposed to, it's not what it's cracked up to be, or, and they pretty much fed up with it. So now they're mad, man. And you're seeing that. You're seeing that predisposition of division within these nations, their separation. Even the allies want to distance themselves, man. That goes into, you know, these nations coming against Babylon. Let me see. (18:2). And he cried. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, that great city, is fallen, and is become a habitation of devils, and a hole of every foul spirits, in cage of every unclean, hateful bird. So the vibration here is because of the level of wickedness and level of vibration of wickedness. That's what this place is inherited, man. So that's the vibration it has, man. The scripture, a few scriptures down, talk about Babylon, that great mighty city, in 1 hour thy judgment come, man. So all that historical building, which is part of that increment, which was part of that thick clay, that accumulation, you know, by using certain things and entities, person, place, and things to help build it forcefully and aggressively over a period of time, you know, go to that bloody city, man. That's part of that as well, man. The scripture says, man. So all that's part of that, fraud, deceit. The scripture talks about is translated from one people to another, man. Ultimately, that's what's going to happen. I said, no, that's Ecclesiasticus, man. So that's the transference from end of one rulership pretty much to another. I'm gonna get let me get Isaiah 14. I believe it was Isaiah 14. Start here. Hell from beneath is moved from thee to meet thee in thy coming, and stir up the dead, thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, which are ones in position of power. It have raised up from their thrones all kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So the ones in that power, used to be of that power, now they becoming weak, man. They showing that decay, they showing that deterioration, they showing that being corroded, man. They showing yeah, like I was saying, the decay and deterioration, man. The weakness and the thing is beginning to set in, man. And that goes to that pump. That pump is what? That splendid display, man. Thy pump is brought down to the ground, which goes to the splendid display. And the noises of the vials, the worm is spread underneath thee, and the worms cover thee. That's the decay, the deterioration, man. How art thou fallen from heaven? That goes to the ones in the position of power. You know, and the carnal counterpart on earth, which is the left-hand side, which is the light bearer luminaries, wise and wickedness on that left-hand side. Read that again. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, the son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations, man? So that pomp is that splendid display. That outward appearance is being brought down, man, because it prides itself on a strong facade, a strong edifice, a strong building, man. Now that building is being exposed. The weakness is being disposed. So you see in the deterioration, the decay set in, man. 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above heaven, above the stars of God. The scripture talks about I shall sit a queen, I shall see no sorrow. So that's that pride being exalted up, because they trying to be like that God. They had that megalomaniac predisposition, man, which goes to that Hamashiach complex, man, which is a godlike complex. That's what that means. 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High, because his goal is to be like the Most High, not on the spiritual aspect, but more on the artificial aspect. 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. That's to the ground, pretty much. The hell can be related to condition in the ground, pretty much. Number 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider, and they say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdom? So they look at these people. These people are the ones that the people of the earth feared. These people that made the shake the kingdoms and made all the earth tremble. That's how they're going to look at it. All right, go to we go to Jeremiah. (51:7). Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hands that made all the earth drunken. That golden cup relates to what's in that cup, man. It's that wine, and all the nations were drinking off that wine, man, getting drunk off that wine, man. And that wine tasted good for them, and they realized that now it's not so good, man. Babylon have been a golden cup of the earth that made all the earth drunk, and the nations have drunken off that wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So they're mad, man. They're mad. You see the precursors of that now, man. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm, which is ointment, for her pain. If so, she may be healed. She can't be healed, man. She wasn't meant to be healed, man, because she's going to receive a judgment by the Lord. This is the Lord's movie. He's the director. This is the action movie, man. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. That scripture says, forsake her. For this not a place of rest. It is corrupt. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Micah 2:10. Reason why is because so you don't partake her judgment. There's another scripture that has similar language as well. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her. Let us go, everyone into their own country. Everyone to their own country, their own land, their own kind, their own kin. For her judgment reacheth into the heavens, and is lifted up even into the skies, where the Lord remembers Sabaoth. This was a few scriptures, so you know you're seeing the was that the decadence of America being broken down. America is Babylon, by the way. You're seeing that, man. You're seeing that. You're seeing the removal of nations separating, trying to separate separate themselves financially from Babylon as far as relating to the currency. They want to go have more flexibility, optional or flexibility financially, to use either their own kind or other form of currency, man. You know what I mean? Where they don't have to be under the grip of the sanctual grip of the West, man. And that's why you're seeing these other countries separating and removing themselves and distancing themselves from that. because they want to break free from that financial grip or hold that they're under, man. So you're seeing the precursors of that financial dilapidation, deterioration being set forth, man. This was a few scriptures. When people have to get a loan just to buy food, that says volumes, man, about, you know, a lot of things. That being said, I hope this helps Zayah Wolf. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakadash. Shalom.